Hey guys, Giving Up 96 here. Just want to say this is part 2, week 2 of the videos for the top 50 horror movies. So today we're going to be talking about 40 through 31. And I wanted to say thank you to the 5 new subscribers I got since I got this, so thank you guys so much for subscribing. And I'm at 90 subs right now, so once I hit 100 there will be a contest. So that's only 10 more people, so I can't wait to see what you guys think. But first and foremost, before I get into my list at all, I'd like to give shout outs to the 5 guys who we all started this with. Manny Rapasso, the man who basically started this whole thing. We got Lylesburg 7-Eleven, Toddy Walnuts, Andrew Bellina, and Parsnip Burger. So go sub to them if you haven't already, and we're gonna jump right in. Number 41, sorry, can't even keep my numbers right. Don't Look Now. This is the Criterion release that came out last year, or this year. Let's see, I guess it's this year. Basically it's Donald Sutherland and Julie Christie, lovers, daughter dies. They go to Venice because he has work to do in Venice, restoring some building. I don't remember if it was a church, but I know it's a building for sure. It might have been a church. Anyway, there's this murderer going around in a red coat, and he sees this little girl, he sees this little figure in a red coat, and he thinks it's his daughter because his daughter passed away in a red coat. And horror ensues. It's a really good psychological thriller. I highly recommend it. It has one of the most shocking sex scenes for the 70s. It's really weird. Not weird, but it shows some scenes that I was surprised made it. But that's Don't Look Now, my number 40 pick. I'm not gonna number these. Yeah, it's 40 through 31. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so number 39 is Society here on Blu-ray. This is the Arrow Video Collector's Edition. This movie, it was my first time watching it when this release came out. I think I ordered it a week or two after it dropped. It's a very fun movie. It's basically these rich people are this kid who's in this rich family is having problems. People start magically vanishing and dying. Everybody becomes a dick to this kid. He doesn't trust his parents. He doesn't trust anyone around him. He sees a psychologist. But the question is his fear all in his head, or is there a reason to it? Brian Usna directed this, and I believe sorry, I was thinking maybe something with Stuart Gordon, but it doesn't say, so I'm not gonna say that. But anyway, like I was saying, it's a really good movie, and it shows a view of the aristocratic underbelly, and it's a good satire of rich people. I highly recommend this film. It stars Billy Warlock as our main character, and this release, I believe you can still find it on Amazon for $25, even though it's out of print. So pick it up if it's still there. It's really worth it. It's packed with special features and a booklet, so yeah, get it. Get it. Number 38, Alien. Classic thriller, sci-fi thriller, horror. I consider it enough horror to put it in my list. Basically, it's about this group of space explorers who go off in space to look at they find a shipwreck, and basically an alien is hunting them. There's not much more to it. I'm sure you've all have seen this film. It was made famous for the chest bursting scene. That's about all I'm gonna say about it, because really everyone's seen it. Ripley is really hot in this movie. There's a newer release of this film, actually, that came with a booklet. I thought about buying it, but I'm not sure if I want to, or if I should just drop the money and buy the collection. I do have Alien and Aliens, because at the time when I bought them, I was like, those are the only two worth buying, but part of me has looked at the other Blu-rays and I've thought, maybe I should get it, but if I'm gonna get all four of them, I should really go with the collection. That way I get the special features. But anyway, back on with this. Number 38 is Alien. '37 is American Werewolf in London. Two teenage to early 20s kids are backpacking through Europe on a full moon when something attacks them, and it goes through the experience of one of them changing into a werewolf and being haunted by his friend. John Landis, director of Animal House, directed this in one of his, I believe, first horror film, or only horror film, which he's a great speaker for movies, and he has made some really good movies, but I prefer when he talks about movies. I find him one of the people that I could listen to forever. And I believe his son directed An American Werewolf in Paris, which was bad, but I don't think it's as bad as everybody says. Rick Baker did the makeup. That's about it. This is another one that almost, I believe, everybody's seen. So, 30. That was number 37. Yeah, 37. So 36 here. It's Pumpkinhead with Lance Henriksen. From Aliens, there's also Jeff East, Joel Kaufman, and Carrie Ramson. Comes with that cover. Sorry, anytime I show a Scream Factory or anything with an alternate cover, more than likely I'm going to show it. It's a story about the revenge. This kid gets ran down by bikers on accident, and he takes the body and calls upon this demon to get vengeance. There's really not much more to say other than that. It's a wonderful movie, great fairy tale-esque movie. Definitely one of the creepiest creatures in horror, in my opinion. And it's just a really, really good film, and I highly recommend this one. I'm trying to think what else to say about it. The reason that one thing struck me very much about this film is the little boy who plays Lance Henriksen's son, Ed Harley's son, looks an awful lot like my little cousin, and it terrifies me in a way that, well, when I first watched it, I was like, oh my god, my cousin is right there getting ran over. And it's just a very good film. I highly recommend this one to anyone on the fence. Just buy it. It's amazing. It's one of the greatest films, in my opinion, in cinematic history. Maybe not for story-wise, but for atmosphere, creature design, and everything. I highly recommend Pumpkinhead. What are we at? 45. Giving this one to Tusk, starring Justin Long, Chubby Haley Joel Osment, Genesis Rodriguez, Michael Parks, and there's a surprise actor that really got me because I had no idea he was gonna be in this film. I was on the fence about buying this movie, so I rented it, and I fell so deeply in love with this. Number one, first and foremost, you need to know, if there's anything you need to know about me, I love Kevin Smith. Anything he does, I love. Red State, it wasn't the greatest horror movie, but I really enjoyed it. Any of his VSQ comedies are gold as far as I'm concerned. Zack and Miri Make a Porno, hilarious to me. Cop Out, that one's the only one I'd be like, this movie is not gold. But anyway, movie about a guy who goes to Canada to, he's a podcaster, he needs to go to Canada and interview this guy. Turns out the guy died. So he finds this ad asking somebody to come live with this guy or visit this guy, and he does. And basically the guy takes him and tries to make him a walrus. There's really not much more to it than that, other than Michael Parks, who plays the guy that wants to turn people into his walrus, Mr. Tusk, I think his name was, is such a great actor in this movie. He really brings it home. It's pretty funny. It's basically Human Centipede except with the walrus. And good. I'm sorry, I don't like the Human Centipede series. That's just my opinion. But that's number 45, Tusk. Number 34 is The Babadook. I thought this movie was phenomenal. I love the little kid in this. I love the look of post-traumatic stress syndrome that is given. I first rented this from the PlayStation Store when it got big because I wanted to see what everybody was talking about. I loved it, and when I heard Scream Factory was releasing this special edition, it was a must-have in the collection. It's about a little boy and his mother get a book. It conjures up the spirit of the Babadook. The boy is at the start of the film. You feel what the mother's going through, but slowly the child. He's kind of a dark-minded child. He does things he shouldn't. He talks about things that are strictly taboo, and he just drives his mother crazy. And his father passed away in a car accident trying to get to the hospital. So she's dealing with the loss of her husband still, and it takes a long time. So I can totally understand that this mother still wants nothing more than to have her husband back in her life, whether that means the anger of she's angry, but she can't help but take it out on her child. I find it completely understandable. People get mad. People blame people that it's not their fault. So I highly recommend this film. 10 out of 10. It's a very, very nice look at psychological disorders and showing how a monster comes from within. Highly recommend The Babadook. Highly recommend checking this out. That's number 34. 33. Movie that came out a couple of years ago. That I think everybody loved when it came out, and still everybody loves it. Cabin in the Woods. Or The Cabin in the Woods. I'm sure you've all seen it. Group of friends go out to the woods. Shit just doesn't seem right. Basically, it's a reality TV show. Well, not a reality TV show, but a government way of making sure that nothing goes wrong in the world by every major country has to attempt to feed the elder gods with the blood of a fool, jock, blah blah blah, food jock, princess, stoner, and the smart kid. Basically, you gotta kill all these people to stop the original elder gods for coming up, and they house monsters and to attack them. This is a really good film. Highly recommend it. It shows a comedic side of why horror movies happen, and it's a fun movie. I highly recommend. This is another one I highly recommend, just like any of my top 50 except Halloween Resurrection. Don't watch that if you can not. That was just in literally for that one part. But here's Cabin in the Woods. 32. Guillermo del Toro's classic about the Spanish Civil War. And this kid who has to go to an orphanage. And there's ghosts. The Devil's Backbone. Great film about this kid who is new to an orphanage and has to meet friends, deal with this ghost that's haunting the building, an abusive caretaker who wants nothing more than to steal basically all the money from the orphanage. And it's about these kids who band together to help this ghost get his revenge. It's very atmospheric. Highly recommend. It definitely shows power of friendship after they do become friends. It's a great Criterion release. I highly recommend this one, Devil's Backbone. And finally, for the last pick for this video, number 31, is a film that's been on some people's lists. I believe Parsnip Burgers for sure. And that is Trick or Treat here on Blu-ray. Highly recommend this one. I actually bought this one on DVD, and when I got the Blu-ray player and I saw this for like $4, I had to upgrade, and I actually made a DVD Blu-ray combo pack out of mine, because why not? I had the DVD. This is a movie that took forever to come out. I remember first seeing a trailer for this when 300 was released, and then it took forever after to actually come out because problems. It stars Dylan Baker, Rochelle Adas, Leslie Bibb, Anna Paquin, and Brian Cox. The producer was Brian Sinner, and the writer-director was Michael Daughtry. This comes up pretty much packed with special features. This was a big hit out of nowhere, making action figures, comic books, everything. Legendary has a comic book coming out soon, and I believe a sequel is in the works. Highly recommend this film. It's a great horror anthology, and in my opinion, horror anthologies are a great way to tell a bunch of stories, and I enjoy horror anthologies. Maybe not as much as the actual films, but the anthologies are fun. Tales from the Crypt, all those films are really fun, but this is definitely my favorite of the anthology film making. So this is a definite pickup. If you don't own this, I don't know why you don't own this. Alright, but that's number 31, guys, and we're gonna be back for another week. We got, what is it, 4 more weeks ahead of us? 3 more weeks ahead of us. 4, 3, one of those two. But this is Giving Up 96, and like I said, once we hit 100 subscribers, there's going to be a contest, so let's get that up. It's only 10 away. Bye, guys. See you.